Thank you. The gentleman yields back his balance of his time, and the chair now recognizes, I believe, the gentleman from California's 50th District for 5 minutes for questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say I heard the phrase level playing field, and I had to chuckle myself because we could argue about whether you want to subsidize mature energy technologies or not, but the notion that you would have to approve 69 separate steps personally by the Secretary of the Interior, that's what's happening with wind projects now. That would never happen to any other energy source. The notion that that's some sort of level playing field is kind of a joke to me. And I think the other thing I'd point out too, you talk about dispatchable power as if it's self-explanatory, but it's interesting to me that what Texas did when its natural gas system failed in their superstorm and people died from cold, what did they do to reduce their risk of blackout? They did not add more natural gas. They added solar and batteries to reduce their risk of blackouts and brownouts from 10% to 1%. Because batteries are how the grid is moving. And around the world, other countries are moving towards solar and wind because it's the fastest to get on the grid with batteries to help around the clock. So this notion of the level playing field, that's BS. It's just not what's happening at all. We're also told in California that BLM's not even processing solar permits. So I'm willing to join you in a real level playing field where technologies get to compete, and around the world where they are competing, places like China are adding a lot more renewables in. I think I'd like to do that, but what you told me is just not right. There's not a level playing field in this administration, period. But I wanted to talk about something else, and that's wildfires. The hearing was supposed to be about physical and cyber threats. Wildfire-related costs, including proactive investments and post-disaster recovery, make up 40% of California's utility rate increases, and it's clear we have to do more to work on that. We need to do more coordination and information sharing between federal agencies and states. That would unlock the full potential of any money and effort the federal government spends on wildfire mitigation. We have the Fix Our Forests Act, which passed the House, which I did with Chairman Bruce Westerman of Natural Resources. I hope that will become law this Congress. And the House version of this bill created something called the Fireshed Center. The Senate version calls it the Wildlife Intelligence Center, but the goals are the same. It's a national one-stop shop for wildfire intelligence, coordination, and response. It would be empowered to work with states, utilities, and communities to mitigate fire threats. Consolidating real-time information on wildfires and wildfire risk through this federal hub will promote preparedness, real-time decision-making, and wildfire response. And the National Science Foundation, national labs, and other departments, potentially including CSER, would be involved in the governance priorities. So I wanted to see if you would talk a little bit about that, Mr. Fitzsimmons. Can you talk about how that Energy Threat Analysis Center, or ETAC, would help reduce the risk of wildfire to utility infrastructure and make the utility infrastructure less subject to that kind of risk?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think one of CSER's fundamental missions is to provide timely and actionable information to the energy sector. ETAC is one of the mechanisms that we have to do that. I think the benefit of ETAC as a capability is that it's in a physical place. We're able to co-locate cleared industry partners who are operating the energy system on a day-to-day basis and get them working collaboratively with DOE staff, with staff from the IC community, and working on analyzing threat information, cyber and physical threat information in real time, figuring out what's real, what's not, how big of a problem a specific threat is, figuring out how to mitigate it, and then getting that information back out to the private sector in a timely manner.
Well, there's something we can agree on. This is bipartisan legislation. I think widely supported. I think we have enough Democrats now in the Senate to get this passed. We appreciate the administration's support and look forward to working with you to mitigate wildfire risks to the grid, but also the tremendous pollution impacts that result from not managing our forests correctly. And I yield back.